So we have some developments. We have some developments. So you guys know how last night on the stream we discussed and so eloquently laid out the nonsense that is plaguing this country, this platform even, and is attacking me directly. And we so eloquently talked about this last night in the stream, and there was an interesting development after doing this. And if you guys remember me telling you before about how if we talked about something too much or we got too close to what was happening, this third party, we'll call it, this third party very obviously starts to meddle and gets desperate. And we see all kinds of technical things happen where they are trying to figure out a new way to reestablish a hacking connection and continue to use my data to manipulate Americans. So, after the stream last night, I proceeded to get yet another random Windows update that wasn't a Windows update. And there is no framework update. I already did that. That's already done. This was literally very obviously, and they even use Windows system to try to indicate to me that it's okay. Yep, it's okay. This is not going to make everything break. This is not going to do what it always did in the past and destroy drivers, cause an issue for framework and backwards update security updates so that Windows Defender doesn't properly function. And this is what we've seen. We've seen this firsthand. It happened. My virus software actually indicated it many times that this was a high security threat, and then conveniently, all while this was happening, we would have all those problems with bit rate, where it was very clear they were doing it in real time, affecting things, yada yada yada. You get the picture. And anyway, all around this last night, so eloquently laying it out for everybody, and how they're manipulating all these streamers and stuff like that on this platform and everybody. With that happens. And, oh, that's not all. If you think that's all, no. And I would typically not tell people this bit, but this is not the first time this has happened, okay? And I am going to say this time. There have been many times where I've gotten emails and various other texts and things like that that indicate that conveniently at this time somebody went to a data broker somewhere and flooded my personal data, my real name. And we all know what streamer does this. I'm not going to mention any names. We all know what streamer, what asshole actually sits here and learns people's information and shares it. Like, we all know that. So I'm not going to mention any names, but we all know who we've started protecting ourselves from and distancing ourselves from and things like that. We all know. And we all know that, you know, there were too many signs around this person. We all know that. And maybe this person is doing it on purpose. Maybe it is. But I think what it is that this person is intentionally stupid. I think this person is intentionally stupid and has learned what this does to work for him, and is drawing all of these scammers, people pretending to be other people, where they're just watching his stuff because they have a whole shitload of bot accounts and stuff, which is why he has so many subscribers and stuff like that. And then you see the toxicity that he brings in, where it's people that want to cancel other things. And all they're doing is using his data to farm people's personal information and data off him, because he is incredibly unsafe with his data and stupid with it. And yeah, does say things he shouldn't say. And I tried to help this person. I tried to make sure this person did not do this stuff with my data, but it's very clear that they did. So anyway, let me get to the point. I got an email from Versum Analytics. Now, Versum Analytics is a legitimate data broker. However, I was never on their website. I have never used their shit. I was completely unaware of them until today. And so, you know, they're credible, whatever, they're accredited with the Better Business Bureau, yada, yada, yada. It doesn't matter. They're still a data broker, and I'm getting an email indicating that I can opt out of something. I was never on their site. And the email has my full fucking name typed above my email address. Like in the email from their servers, indicating basically that, yeah, they in fact have my full name to type there and associate with my email address. And all this happened today. You know, I get this email today conveniently after last night, when we see this fake fucking update push its way through. And then this bullshit. And then conveniently, it's a data broker. Now, let's get to the point. Should Versum Analytics be sending me an opt-out email if I wasn't even ever on their site or using their services at all?
It's a fair question and kind of a red flag. If you're getting an opt-out email from Versum Analytics or a similar data company, but you've never interacted with them directly, it usually means they have data about you from a third party.
Huh.
This is common in the data broker industry, where companies collect, buy, or process data from other sources, like retailers you've shopped with, apps or websites you've used that sold data, public records or marketing lists. So while you didn't sign up with Versum, your data might have been included in a list they acquired. The opt-out email is likely them attempting to stay compliant with privacy laws like the CC or CPA or GDPR, which require them to give you the option to remove yourself from their database.
And here's the thing. While I appreciate the option, this shit is so fucking illegal, it's not even funny. And we have legitimate brokers in broad daylight violating all kinds of privacy laws Meanwhile, no, we're not violating them. We're backing them up. We're sending you the email to opt out. Yada yada. They're selling your goddamn personal data, and you don't even know how they fucking got it. These. Are you kidding me? You're joking, right? These long fucking things that you agree to before apps open and shit like that you could never possibly read. You can sit here and use years and years and years of law to prove that's completely unreasonable. And that the law would back up that there's absolutely not a single person out there with the average, that is a single average person out there with the academic knowledge to piece that together properly and read that in a conducive manner that would tell them and translate what it even means. So, since I can do that, and I can sit there and I can even just state this calmly, reasonably, and then say definitively, there's absolutely no, like, I can sit here and just go on and on and on and find parts, so much of the law that has the word reasonable and stuff like that. And again, there's nothing reasonable about stealing people's personal data, private information, and selling it, and then expecting the average person to be able to read these 20, 30 fucking pages of, do you accept these terms? What? Or I can't use this thing that I need right fucking now? That you just change all the time, and now any future terms I just have to accept because I must use this thing right now, like Google Maps or something? Yeah, fuck you, Google. It's Google. It's because you need these services. So let's let it continue. It did indicate this is a red flag. I didn't let it finish.
What you can do, if it's a legit email, verify the sender and link before clicking. You can use it to opt out. You can also visit their privacy or opt-out page directly, vertium.com/out, without clicking the email link, just to be safer. Consider using tools or services that help remove your info from data brokers if privacy is a concern.
And I will tell you one thing, the email is legit. Like, it is coming legit. It's from their ingest, from, that email ingest, whatever you want to call that. I don't know that comes from the ingest, but from their side of things. The email is correct. I will say one thing, though, that there are several typos. Several? There's some weirdness. It looks strange. It was weird. I've never seen such a thing. Never.
Help checking if the email looks legit or if you should ignore it. You can share a screenshot or paste the email here.
Well, that's nice. How's that function? And yeah, like I said, it looks legit. The email is probably legit. It's just that it's really weird, and I've never gotten one before. I don't use their services. Again, it's very odd. That's what I was concerned about. Yeah, now, they are saying this is indicating that it seems legit, but here's the deal. I can give you the info. It's gonna say it seems legit. I'll let it play. Here's my issue. And she is gonna actually kind of back me up a little bit to on this third part here that says, oh no, second, someone with your info, possibly even a data aggregator cleaning up, might have submitted an opt-out request on your behalf. And then the third part, less likely, possible mistaken identity where your email was entered in someone else's opt-out form. Again, whenever I see this and I didn't have any type of interaction with the business itself, the data broker, like basically I didn't even know who this company was until I was submitted an opt-out request that they already had all of my fucking data. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. Are you kidding? This is the point. And you start realizing that while it may seem legit, it also may be that somebody was an asshole and started using certain databases and certain things to track somebody's info and do something malicious with somebody's info, and this caused an inadvertent opt-out request through the system. Or that. So I'm going to let it play, but now I personally think that sounds more reasonable than what, just given everything. Again, this is a start over conversation where ChatGPT isn't getting all that info. I'd have to remind it of all of that and then ask this question, and it would probably agree with me. But without all that information, just a standalone case, it's just going to tell you that it's legitimate and it's not a scam. But again, while that's legitimate and it's not a scam, it is very odd that it conveniently happened all around this. And yeah, I could appreciate that company having the opt-out requests and taking that option, stuff like that. But again, I didn't even know who the fuck they were. That's terrible. And it's not their fault, it's Google's fault. But anyway. I have Aura too, so it's kind of annoying. That's the strange thing about this too. Like having Aura and still getting that. Like that's sort of what they do, but it's more about data breaches. Legitimate data brokers are allowed to have your information. The point is what they do with it. But this is kind of my point, is that they shouldn't. Like, this is just people. This was the point of the last stream. The people in this country, like, there's so many people that don't even understand this, and still, even as I explained it this whole time, And probably in all these other streams, they still can't follow it. They have no clue what I'm talking about. They really don't get any of this. And the point is that these are the people that are going to go around and do stupid shit. And, I don't know, walk into the DMV and stream while they're standing at the counter talking to somebody about their DMV information or whatever they're at the DMV for. You know, like, just people that are actually that moronic that they wouldn't understand that you know, you don't do that. That's a privacy issue. Like, just that, you know what I mean? And then why? You know, like everything I've explained, all this stuff that we've talked about, and then why that's a privacy issue. So, like, just, it's not that hard. I get that there's a lot more stuff now than there used to be because the internet's everywhere. And that's the point. You have to just simply be aware that every device that uses the internet is processing your data, possibly has your data flying through it. And you know, all right, that was sort of the point of the light. You guys know how I was sitting here and I was talking to you about the light, yada yada yada, and we were showing that I could sit here and make the light. You do realize that this is, like, people can do this, right? If you have, like, light bulbs that run on Wi-Fi and stuff, like, people can really screw with you. And all they'd have to do is the light is on and doesn't have an analog switch. And they could sit there and really screw with you. And people that wouldn't understand how that would work, you know, maybe a rich person or something like that just has, you know, Wi-Fi lights or something like that. Oh, how's he do that? It's just a bulb. You just buy it. And then you get an app on your phone. So we all know how much data is running through your phone. Okay? So the point is, if you can control it with your phone, somebody else can too. And, you know, your phone is essentially just a remote, basically. Those remote functions. And this is why streaming and stuff became dangerous, because everybody with a phone anymore has remote function. This is what you have to understand. It works differently. Remote. Ancestors should probably know what that means. And you have to rationalize, maybe they wouldn't even agree with that. If you don't agree with that, I don't think that you're on the same level of understanding. And I think maybe that's partially the issue. I theorize a lot. I understand what will happen because of what is. So I can do this. That's what analysts do. They get paid a shitload of money to tell the government. They live in secret too. You're not supposed to know who they are, but they get paid shitloads of money to predict what's going to happen. Now they just use AI to do it. But that's what they used to do, and they get paid shitloads of money to essentially compile data, look at everything, and tell the government this is what's going to happen. Well, I can do that, and this is why I was able to predict Trump. This is why they're attacking me. It's because I have these abilities, and they've known this for quite some time. And I've been right. So all they do is suppress me and watch, because then nobody finds out about it, and they can have the up and up on what's going on. And on all this, just because people didn't want to be informed and kind of, like, you know, listen to somebody that's making sense. So anyway, what you have to realize is that, with that being said, as far as what I mean with remote function, I don't know if it's come to be yet, But at a certain point, this will happen where anybody with a jailbroken phone, like a completely unlocked phone, which is why they lock phones these days, anyone with a completely unlocked phone has the potential to gain remote access to a Windows PC desktop. And a lot of it, again, has to do with the ease of the coding. How easy the coding is, easy Microsoft is to crack. And if you think it's not, then you don't understand this. And again, it has to do with redundant cache, it's because the internet functions differently. I guess that's the best, easiest way I can explain it. Because the way the internet flows through this device differently, intermittently, it can be shut off and on remotely. You can move around, you can use amplified signals, you can use, it just works differently. Yeah, there you go, amplified signals. You can use various technologies to, this is the point. You can use various technologies that you wouldn't normally be able to use because you're no longer there's just, the way it works is very different. That's all I'm saying. And you can see where this is going. I don't want to say too much, I'll be honest with you. There's certain things I just would rather not say with that, because I don't want to explain it to the meatheads that haven't figured it out yet. So anyway, what you have to rationalize is, I'm being attacked. While this seems like a normal thing for somebody else, and that's fine, it's not for me. And all around that weird non-update that's, why is this a normal thing where you get an update, things are a little bit better, finally, because that's the normal framework update, but then conveniently another update breaks everything, and it's been happening a lot more in the past 6, 7, 8 months. Oh gee, I wonder why. And it just breaks everything. Oh man. So that is an interesting update, I know. I personally think it's extremely concerning and really messed up that a company would have somebody's full name and email address and information and stuff like that, and you would have never even heard of that company.
You're 100% right to feel that way. It is extremely concerning. It's one of the creepiest parts of the data economy.
Imagine that.
Your personal info, name, email, location, habits, even things like income range or interests, can get bought, sold, and traded by companies you've never interacted with
Told you.
without your knowledge or consent. Companies like Versium operate in the data broker industry, which is a massive, barely regulated space.
Told you.
They often collect data from
Barely regulated.
They often collect data from retailers or apps you've used that sold your data, public records or surveys, loyalty programs, online purchases, social media scraping, other data brokers. It's like a chain reaction.
Yeah.
And the worst part, in many countries like the US, it's mostly legal unless strong privacy laws like GDPR in Europe or CCPA in California apply.
Yeah.
And even then, enforcement is tricky. What happened to you is exactly why a lot of people are pushing for stricter privacy laws and more transparency. Because right now, it's almost like we all have shadow profiles floating around that we didn't create and can't easily erase.
Yes.
If you want to take back some control, I can help walk you through opting out of more data broker databases, using privacy tools that regularly scrub your data, checking if your email, name appear in data breach reports. Want to go deeper into any of that?
So, being that the AI is going this route, you guys know exactly what's going to happen if I cross-reference all the other stuff we talked about. It's literally just going to sit here and agree that YouTube and Google and all these other companies are violating federal laws on a top level, and they're doing it to continue the stupid selling of your information, and they are violating federal laws. So, I will tell you one thing. Again, it is not regular to think that everything needs an update so fucking often every day. That's fucking ridiculous. The way that they are getting your data is by sitting here and lying to you. Breaking shit. So that way it needs an update. They push an update, more fucking data. It's that simple. I've been trying to say it for fucking ever, but nobody listens. And we had this huge obvious example. Do you remember the attack where all these flights were canceled, all these things happened, and it was an attack, and they said it happened because there was a bad update by a third party. They didn't even blame Microsoft, but yet remember, it was Microsoft's system it happened on, and then Microsoft blamed this third party company. It was a bad update. Durka. You know what? I am sick and tired of Microsoft sitting here and blaming things on a bad update. No, recognize what fucking happened. They attacked us with a bad update. Duh. Fuck, man. And you start recognizing that federal organizations that Donnie fucking dickhead put in play aren't doing anything. They're ignoring shit. They don't care. He's not running anything. All he's doing is playing defense. Be lucky if you make it out of this term alive. Be lucky if you're one of those people that survives this, and you know, like you see U.S.-born citizens getting deported and shit. You actually see that. What the fuck? Yeah, so thinking Donnie dickhead, or that any of these guys where I was talking about all this last night, and very obviously making some very, very valid points after all that, we had these two very aggressive things happen where it very clearly was a bunch of people doxing my information. You know, trying to get my information out there, cause a problem, you know, because of everything I was saying. And we know that Trump voters do this. We know that the terrorist Trump voters do this. They do this. This is what they do. They dox people, they harass people, they stalk people. We've seen it. We have evidence of it. This guy's been fucking following me around forever. You know, like, I mean, almost anybody that I was friends with before that was like a Trump voter or something like that and knew that I wasn't, like, a lot of the time they were really incessant about trying to prove something to me, and like a lot of times would just like be really angry at the smallest thing I would post that would be beneficial to the other side. They wouldn't even like it or give you props like, hey, that's a good point or something like that. No, they just get really angry. And so, like, you just see the manipulation. You see it. You literally just see it. And then you rationalize these people are fucking stupid. They really are. It's not something that you're trying to be insulting about. Maybe if you weren't such a fucking retard. Like, seriously, get your emotions in check and stop being manipulated by other countries. You live in this one. Donnie Dickhead ain't the president. He's a douchebag. He's not doing anything. And all these people that vote for him are always the ones spreading hate and being jackasses. So, like, that's why originally I said way back, it wasn't like anybody, because eventually, you know what I mean? Like, the point is, people did change their minds. People did start wising up and realizing it. And there's been plenty of evidence of that. So yeah, at this point, just to get to this point with everything that's happened, after January 6th, you have no excuse. That's it. After January 6th, it should have been the nail in the cross, nail in the coffin. Should have been nothing else after that, where you see the evidence of huge groups of people being fooled by somebody, being lied to, being actually tricked into believing that the election wasn't valid, actually taking out ads that say stop the steal, really actually showing you how much of a scammer he is. Just lying right out while being the president. And then everybody showed up trying to kill people, destroy shit. This should have been eye-opening. It should have been very obviously the beginnings of what happened with Nazism in Europe, where you recognize that this is history repeating itself, and you go, holy shit, we learned about this. I better change my mind. This is why you're taught these things. So that you recognize them, not so that you repeat them. It is so crucial. And then you wonder, you absolutely wonder why anybody is saying that, why anybody doesn't want to be friends with you, doesn't want to associate with you when you pick this guy, because again, there are better picks. You could fucking pick so many different Republicans that don't align with Putin and other terrorists and scamming you and things like that. There's so many other things you could have done, and yet just this guy. I want to remind you too, we've been talking about terrorism on this platform and view suppression. Basically, the entire time I've been discussing Trump, they are lying about the views. Yep, there it is. As soon as I said that, we got a second one just to lie about it, you know, to try to further the lie. Oh, well, that's what would happen if he said the word Trump and the things were working. No. Truthfully, they're idling. They're locking. We've seen it 100 times, probably even more. We sat there with the control room open and showing you guys that the graph does not match the concurrent number that comes in. They just literally are capping it. And the graph below will say 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 0, 1, 2, the whole time. Meanwhile, you see huge groups of like 8 and 10 and 12 people coming in the stream. And at the bottom it just says 2. 2. And then even when they come in, you like sometimes we'll even just see a third one, and the graph below will never even jump up to 3. Never even an additional third one. Like, it's clear that as we look at that and we analyze that, you know, that was happening. Real view suppression was happening. Platform manipulation was happening. Insider help was happening. Where YouTube, it's very clear, YouTube and Google like Trump and are communicating with the Trump administration behind the scenes. And are probably spending this time in office trying to get rid of all that evidence and destroy it all. And I got news for you. You know, there's a lot right here. You can see it. 1 concurrent the whole time, and just 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. And then if you come in on another device, that 2 stays as it'll show a 2, but then if you sit in there long enough, it just changes to a 1 and idles it down so that it never counts. real view suppression from Google, actually getting help from the platform to lie about Trump. And this is the point. People think that this guy has all these numbers. He actually doesn't. So many people didn't vote. And this is what was happening the whole time. They were abruptly ending streams and stuff like that. This was just Google. This was just YouTube. Where it's very clear that you had platform manipulation, psychological manipulation. You know, remember I kept telling you guys, I kept seeing ads for Trump, pro-Trump, when all this time, all the abrupt stream ends and stuff like that, and I was complaining about him way back and trying to inform people about, like, what's he really about and stuff. All around that time, I was conveniently getting a shitload of ads pro-Trump. So you know what that means. YouTube and Google were sitting there silently manipulating my analytics so that it would show my streams and trend my streams only to people that were pro-Trump and wouldn't agree with my message, which is why I didn't grow and why everybody hated me and started trolling me, harassing me, stalking me, because these are terrorists. And this is what YouTube did. Silently but surely, they did it. Where you see Brian Tyler Cohen, you see all these other people that very clearly have a huge audience, huge, where they're talking about similar things. And you know, I have my own voice too. I truthfully have my own standalone voice and always have. Anybody would know that. But it often lines up with, yeah, some other people too. And conveniently, they did this all through the election process. Before the election. As soon as Trump won, they fixed it. As soon as he won, they fixed it. They changed it. And then I was getting ads for Kamala. I was getting... And I wasn't before. Kamala, sorry. I have a habit of doing that. And so, like, like, literally, I was just non-stop. It was very clear that these people had done this. That Google had done this with their analytics, where they had just spent the whole time showing me ads and then trending my stuff to people that would only watch pro-Trump stuff. So they see my shit, they see me there, and I'm talking about this, that, and the other thing in the title, and then they just get mad. Oh no. There's a bee in the water. Oh no, I want to help him out. I help you. Don't die. Don't die. Don't die. Don't die. I help you. Go bee, go. Okay, good. I like bees. He didn't die. It's okay. He almost did. Anyway, guys, I think it's kind of got obvious what's going on. And again, they're using the people, like I said, these other countries like Russia and stuff. It's their unencrypted traffic, it's their hackers, it's their botting, it's their scammers, it's the people that in those countries where there's no restrictions, where they hate us and stuff like that, that are doing this. And you have to realize that they're watching, and they are going to use anybody that appears to not understand. Anybody that appears to think that Trump has the answer, that, you know, anybody that aligns with Putin, that, you know, like, lies to you, scams you, because you will believe this person. And you'll believe everything they say. So, that's the point. Because you endlessly believe somebody, you will endlessly back somebody up, no matter what he does, you know, like Hitler, you know, like a cult, like a true cult. These people can manipulate you. Did you see the 2 turn to a 1? 2, 1, 2, 1. So, regardless, you still have to realize that there's a channel on here that's doxing me and my family, and this this platform, YouTube and Google, are violating several federal laws daily by continuing to allow this platform, this channel to exist on this platform. So just wanted to remind you the maturity level of the shit bricks that we're dealing with. You know, just essentially that, you know, they, you know, the maturity level is that they, you know, essentially have these policies, but only momentarily follow them, you know, if they have to. You know, if it's police family, if the, you know, family of police, oh, well, they'll do something that day. The channel will be removed that day because they have to. They have policies for this. They have removed people for less. And yet, day in and day out, this channel remains. And violating several federal laws daily. And yet, this channel remains. This channel that's doxing my family, stalking them, harassing them, doxing my address daily, stealing all of my streams daily, violating copyright laws, federal laws, all kinds of things. This person impersonated family members, doxed my address in real time for 1,200 people to see. That this is what goes on this platform, and we see evidence, huge amounts of evidence, right here in plain sight. Where I have huge email threads where they're aware of this. Google and YouTube are completely aware of this and doing nothing. So eloquently put by me and the AI, as we confirmed this. Like, the AI agreed, they're doing nothing. That's ridiculous. And so these really are several federal laws being broken right in plain sight. You can't look at that as a standard. YouTube is trying to use their place in the market as a big company to create this new standard where people just think this is how things are, so thus it becomes this, and Trump can do illegal shit now. So they're hoping that eventually he probably just, you know, does these things, we rile him up enough that he does enough illegal shit to write some executive order or something like that. And this is probably the scam that Google is hoping for, or something like that. But regardless, the federal organizations that investigate these things are and will, regardless. And again, if it's happening to me, it's selectively happening to anybody that panders to the other side. And we've already determined now there's no bias to it. It's literally just being reasonable to vote Democrat at this point. Given everything that's happened, you're just gonna... Nah. At this point, you have to understand that's where we've all arrived at after seeing all this. And you know, all he does is just destroy anything the person worked to give him that was good. And it was, again, something that we were determining over the course of the past few years, but, you know, also just in general. But yeah, anyway, We see the view suppression. We see the evidence of bullshit with Windows pushing invalid updates. Like I said earlier in the stream, unupdating things. We know this was a terrorist attack. There were several of them too. Remember all the flights that were canceled? There was a few in a row, and they called it a bad update. Like we know it wasn't bad. Like we know it was an attack. I know that, and they should. And to actually blame the third party, oh, bad update. Right, but then that third party, like, all right, the bad dude, baby third party, like, right, but like, what did somebody do to that third party? Like, you're stopping there. Like, this is what's annoying. People are stupid. They stop there. They don't continue looking. Oh, it was them. Fuck. I guess we just let all these flights get canceled and all these attacks happen, and we'll stop investigating it. It was a third party. It was their fuck up. Okay. And Jesus. But yeah, anyway, you know, you need if you're a damn target. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the point. If you become a target, yeah, you're gonna need these services and stuff. But it's like, that's the point. That's the only reason I've needed to buy so many things and get so many different services to try to clean my stuff up, because I've been a target from these fucking people for so long. And all these things keep happening. Like, when are people gonna realize I'm fucking being targeted? Like, this is the point. People are stupid. They live in their own worlds and they don't listen to all the information. They just assume things about people. Yeah, like, I'm going to say everything on here. Like, I'm going to tell you every little... No! I'm going to tell you what I can. And the fact that you actually think that I can tell you everything shows how fucking stupid that you are. Because if you think that I can come on here and actually tell you every little thing, that's the point. I can't do that. You're missing the whole point of everything I'm saying if you think I can do that. That's the point. Like, the moment anybody that thinks I can do that, they're the dumb ones. They're the ones not being rational. They're just choosing to get angry and try to make something, you know, unclear about the message, you know, or try to find something wrong with it. Instead of agreeing, yeah, no, I've seen those things too. Oh, yeah, no, that's happening. You know, the more we all agree that it's happening, the more that we all agree. Like, this is the point. YouTube and Google are trying so hard to get me trending in these fucking alleys that are just pro-Trump people. And again, like I said, they're the only people that are completely irrational, that will never listen to a single word anybody says unless they are pro-Trump, are those people. And then suddenly they'll listen to everything you say. Suddenly, if you're pro-Trump, they'll believe every fucking word that you say. This is how scammers are getting them and manipulating them. And the fact that you don't realize that at this point, they'll suddenly believe everything that you say. They'll question science, the moon landing, all these things that we know are fact, that we can prove with science that all their families have had relatives and stuff like that that were actually on the moon. And isn't Buzz Aldrin still alive? Is he still alive? Like, these guys were still alive until recently, right? Like, like, come on. And people are like, "Oh, it's ridiculous, man." Oh, let's clear up the whole retard thing, by the way. Let's clear that up. Yep, let's clear that up. Nobody calls anybody that anymore. Yeah, if somebody has autism or something like that, they don't use the word retarded. They don't use mentally retarded anymore. Do you know why? Yep, you guessed it, because people were using it as an insult for so long. So therefore, they just stopped using it altogether. Okay, so then that means I can use it as an insult then. Yep, that's what that means. Because again, you don't use it for that. That's the point. People made the separation. Yep, it's an insult. We want to use it too. Let's change that. Correct. And anybody that's changing it to, "Oh, my feelings, oh, it's a word that hurts my precious feelings," you're victimizing a word. You're victimizing a fucking word. Somebody must be proud of you. I'll bet somebody's real proud of you for victimizing a word. They must be real proud. If you gather up a whole bunch of hate and anger and toxicity and direct it at somebody because they said the word retard, you hate that person and you're looking for a reason to. That's it. I mean, unless they're like coming at you or, like insulting you to your face, it's a little different. But no, you feel insulted because you're one of these people that still listens to him and actually backs this fucking douchebag up, no matter how many things he does that are terrible for this country and any other country on the planet. Never mind USA, just cutting that. Never mind that. But no, like seriously, all this stuff, and you still that's why, and you start rationalizing that that's why we have an issue with trending. And then they even started capping concurrence because I started doing things to make myself trend properly in the markets where people would vote that way and be smart about what we're talking about and stuff like that. And then we see those people come in, and as soon as those people are in here, that's where we see those views being live. Do you remember when 365 was in here a few times? And we didn't even know he was in here. It just said 0 concurrence, and he just started typing. And I was like, "Oh, hey, 365. What's up, man? How long have you been in here?" And, like, it said 0 for X amount of time, but he had been in the stream, like, the whole stream. And they just kept putting it as 0. We confirmed this. We both saw it. And we were sitting there seeing it happen throughout the stream. Or it was very clear other people were talking to. And this was a regular thing that we had just started noticing, where it was very clear that YouTube was suppressing views and lying about views. And it's a shame that YouTube and Google are now going to sit there and cause problems for him and any other streamer now. And just because he was there confirming and trying to talk in my chat. That's really screwed up. That's really screwed up. Why? Just because he wanted to watch a streamer? Well, that's where we're gonna sue YouTube. This is where we're gonna sue YouTube for ostracizing channels that speak out about things and intentionally censoring things. I mean, we all know what's happening. We flat out know what's happening. And then everybody's like, oh, the 8-second rule. You know, like, there's just like these silent rules that everybody talks about that we all know exist, but YouTube doesn't actually have the rule. They just lie about it. Where you're not really supposed to swear in the first however many seconds of the stream or something like that, otherwise your stream doesn't trend or something like that. And everybody knows about it, yet they don't actually have a policy anywhere that states that. This is fraud. Just broad daylight fraud. Just broad daylight fraud. Oh, we'll just make shit up as we go along. Meanwhile, our entire platform is worth probably trillions of dollars at this point and controls the fucking media market. Literally controls the media market. Controls it. It's too much power. And Google has it. Oh yeah, one concurrent, guys. One. Just one. Talking about all this. One concurrent. One. Pretty solid, too. Imagine that. Well, anyway. One concurrent. Wait, what?
Check it out, it's linked in the description. But the response has been weird. I've gotten some of the strangest comments I've ever gotten in my career while on social media. And we're going to talk about that. But first, let me give you a little behind the scenes of what happened in order to make this debate actually happen.
Oh, by the way, you guys should go, if you guys don't watch Dr. Mike, you should. He's really, 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 really smart. He's one of my favorite content creators, and he's super smart. And he's a specialist. I think he's a musculoskeletal specialist. And you have to understand that means he gets more schooling than an MD. I think it's 3 more years of schooling than an MD. What the fuck? I just saw something else I have to get caught up on. So anyway, you guys know how you always see all those political things where it's like one person in the middle of the room and they're against all these other people? What you have to realize is that a lot of the time it's going to be biased toward the channel that's hosting it. And Dr. Mike sort of proved that. And I don't think that's what he was set out to prove, really. But yeah, I mean, single-handedly in this video, you know, where he very obviously tried to see and meet people halfway and understand where they're coming from and be respectful. He was so respectful. I'd have been like, you're so dumb. I don't know how he does it. I really don't. I would have been like, you're so dumb. Go study. Please don't continue talking to me about this because you don't know what I'm fucking talking about. Like, I'll be honest with you. That's how I react to things anymore, because there's so many people that do just speak regular nonsense, and that's why. But anyway, Dr. Mike, he really did this, and it was the anti-vax community is calling me fat. is the name of this video. I don't know. I need to get caught up on this, but I actually I realized I watched half of this and didn't finish it. So I need to finish this myself. But I loved the half that I saw. I had trouble getting through it. I had to turn it off. I had trouble getting through it. I was really irritated. I was extremely irritated. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not somebody that sits here and gets every vaccination either. I'm really not. I don't get my flu vaccine. I just really don't. But you don't have to be a complete jackass about it either. So, like, I guess the point is he sat there with all these people that are anti-vax, and he let them debate him and stuff like that. And of course, he's the doctor. He's the expert. Trust me, he is. It was just like, you know, not changing their minds constantly, you know? Oh, little beetle, you can't be on me. You have to go climb on the edge or something. Here you go. There we go. Sorry. There's a little beetle on my shoulder. He's good now. Yeah. It's so funny because to me, I just see a bunch of uneducated people going up against a really, really smart doctor of all things, too. This guy's a scientist. You realize a doctor is a scientist, right? You understand this, right? He's a chemist. He's a biologist. He's not really the pharmacist is more the chemist, but he is a biologist. He is a scientist, and he knows his shit. And Dr. Mike's a specialist, and these anti-vax people know more than him. It's crazy that people actually think that. And then they're like, oh, well, but all your data was this and this and this. And it's like, it's not about that. It's about studying it. Like, even if they had a credible thing to say, that's the point. He's there to be smart and go, oh, I like that theory, let's experiment, and you're going to be famous because you suggested it. You know, that's the point. If anybody of these people actually suggested something valuable to the scientist, he'd be like, oh, wow, that's credible, let's talk. But this is what they don't realize. None of them are doing that. None of them. Absolutely not a single one could, you know what I mean? Like, this is what you have to realize, is this is what scientists do. They sit around and they talk. So a bunch of smart people are going to look at that and they're going to go, oh, what a bunch of fucking idiots. They don't actually realize people do this in college and like little groups and stuff like that. And, you know, these are the smart people groups. And they actually sit there and they have debates. And some people actually watch this to know how to talk and know how to do debates, because it's refreshing to hear a bunch of really smart people actually talk for once. Holy shit, let me tell you, I miss stuff like that. When Obama was president, we would get more of that on TV. Now it's just fucking nonsense. Truthfully, I miss stuff like this where, you know, like, that's the point, is you don't realize that this guy's probably done this thousands of times, maybe not that many, but just hundreds of times with a bunch of doctors, really smart people, and they have way more credible things to say than a bunch of these people that are just like, oh, I just don't believe in that. And that's why they just don't believe in it. So again, I personally don't like the flu vaccine. I have personal reasons why I don't want to get it. A doctor might ask me about this, and then I'll tell him, well, what I noticed was that when I got the flu vaccine, I had so many, I guess, got sick. And I don't always get the flu. So if I'm going to get sick every time that I get the flu vaccine, and it's pretty rough, and I don't always get the flu, I would much rather just not to get the vaccine. And the doctor's like, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. Doctor's like, oh, that makes sense. But that's the flu vaccine. The flu vaccine. It's not hepatitis. It's not TB, tuberculosis. It's not, Jesus Christ. Like, it's not basic things that if your kids go to school, they're going to endanger other fucking kids. It's not that. I got that shit because I had to, because I had to go to school. You should too. Yeah, your kids should get those things. Your kids should get those things. The TB shot? Whatever. I don't know what the fuck. I'll be honest with you. I don't fucking know what they mean. Is it TB anymore? I don't fucking... Tetanus. That's that one, right? Tetanus. Fuck. See, I don't even remember anymore. It's been so long. This is the point. Kids get it because they're going to school with other kids and your immune systems are weak when you're growing up. When you're an adult and you've been through all this shit, it's a little bit different. You take care of yourself, you know what got you sick, you can figure it out, yada, yada, yada. You got a kid going to school and you don't give him the vaccine. I mean, honestly, like, when you look at how many kids get this stuff and you're saying, oh, you shouldn't give them a COVID vaccine because durka-durka-durka-de-dur, you don't know what you're talking about. You really don't. COVID's a real threat. COVID, yes. I've had COVID. I've had it. Several times. It was extraordinarily unpleasant, and I would much rather have the flu. I would much rather have the flu than COVID. I swear to God, I would much rather have the flu than COVID. And if I thought that getting a COVID shot protected me, I would fucking do it. Yes, absolutely. And it will. It absolutely will. I don't get sick because I got the flu when I got the flu shot. I get symptoms because your body creates those symptoms to fight that virus off. The more violent the virus, the more violent the symptoms. It's a dead virus. They are not injecting you with an active virus. It's dead. It can't do anything. You aren't getting the virus. There's no fucking Illuminati conspiracy bullshit. They're just injecting you with a fucking dead virus. Your body reacts just like it would to any other virus, and the point is it's a vaccine and it's a cure because now your body has fought off the virus even though it was dead. It knows what it is. It fights it up. The difference is you have so fucking many people not getting the vaccines that it mutates, and then 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 it mutates. And then every year you have to have a new fucking vaccine because it's mutated. Because not everybody's doing it. So thus you realize why doctors want everybody, and not just some people. But, yes, for those who get severe side effects with certain things, this is where you individually talk to your doctor about those things and rationalize certain vaccines, not all. This is why education is so important. You have to understand how to deduce propaganda. This is because of Trump. Like, regularly people didn't question medical information so much. Just regularly. No, really, like, I know that it started before him a little bit, but it wasn't so bad. It really wasn't. It wasn't as bad as it is now. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go watch Dr. Mike. I need to finish this myself. I know I swear a lot. I don't give a shit. I think, I'll be honest with you. I think that this was a good video, and again, it was very telling the kinds of people that he deals with. Dr. Mike's not fat. He's actually a healthy weight for him. I actually looked about that size once. That's about the size I was. And I think I'm taller than he is. I'll be honest with you, I even wanted to lose it because I felt a little bit bloated, but not everybody's the same. If you take care of your gut health, it's a little bit different. Most people that are that weight don't take care of their gut health, and I'll be honest, I wasn't. It's about probiotics and certain other things too. And you will feel bloated, you'll have gas, and it will just cause a general discomfort and all kinds of other problems. And this is what people experience when they start getting to that weight. So yes, certain people hold it better than others because, yeah, they're taking care of their gut health. And then they suddenly realize, well, you're not really fat, you just have a little bit more fat on you. But suddenly you realize you can actually hold that and wield that around, then it's a little bit different, and it's healthier than if you didn't take care of gut health and stuff like that. Proper dieting and stuff. I mean, the guy's a doctor, so he knows what he's doing. You know, like, obviously that's the point. And no, he didn't get fat. Jesus.
Saw a 20 verse 1 episode, and I said, wow, wouldn't it be a good idea if it was a doctor versus anti-vaxxer? So I had Sam shoot them an email and recommend the idea for an episode and actually volunteer to be the one in the middle. They loved the idea, and they said that they would absolutely be interested in doing it. So we went and right away started scheduling it. Sam and I flew ourselves out to Los Angeles where they filmed these episodes, and the participants didn't even know I was coming. So that was completely news to them. I walk out into this circle, lights are on, cameras are already rolling. I get like a few giggles, some applause, some groans. Feel totally nervous being in this cold environment. Get into this uncomfy chair, which impacted my posture, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
That's funny, impacted his posture.
Surprised by the diversity of people, not based on their demographics, but based on their beliefs about vaccines. There were people who were vehemently anti-vaccine. You could sense it from them. They got emotional. There were individuals who just had questions. There were some people that were skeptical of certain vaccines, but not other vaccines. Others were involved in legal battles surrounding vaccines. So it was such a diverse group of people. But what I will say that they all had in common was they were all pretty polite and nice to me, and that was good. Very welcome, and I very much appreciated that. I even called it out during the debate. When it comes to how I was feeling during the debate, I just wanted to make sure I was saying everything accurately, so I spoke more slowly than I would watching a Grey's Anatomy or the Pitt reaction. I was very careful to make sure that I would present it.
Maybe this was different than the one I was thinking of then. Did he do two? That might have been just different then. I got halfway through another one and just couldn't take it. It may have been a different one, since, because I don't know that I agree that they were respectful toward him. I don't know, maybe it was that one.
Accurate info, that I didn't misspeak on things, to very clearly and confidently say I don't know as much as I could to show.
I'll be honest, I don't agree that I think everybody was respectful. I think that there was a couple there that were a little insulting to him, and maybe he's just trying to be nice about it. That's just how I took it. I think a couple of them, not all of them. It seriously will almost never be all of them. Most people will be respectful and stuff like that, because that's what you should be. Like, if I'm going to talk to somebody person to person and stuff like that, I'm going to be respectful too. No, a lot of the bitching and a lot of the stuff I do on here is because of the the worst of the worst, and those people have all the accounts and they have all the trolling, and you guys get it. That's the point. They want it to look like it's the numbers, but it's really just the few that try to make it look like the many. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna get caught up on this. I'm not gonna watch this here. I'm caught up on this. But watch Dr. Mike, he's smart.
A lady withdrew $20,000, and scammers are headed to take it from her. I called the police, and what you're seeing is exclusive body cam footage of them trying to find her before the scammers do.
Yeah. John gave it to her. Was it legal? Yeah. Yes. 20,000. There. Yeah, she's been scammed. She's been scammed. How long ago did you miss her?
Jeez.
The police are looking for a woman named Lydia. She's in her car right now with $20,000 cash, and she's currently on the phone with a scammer.
No. Stay over there. Stay over there. You just sit in the car, okay? Just turn on the AC and just sit in the car, okay?
If you've never seen a scammer payback video before, we always try to save victims, but we've never had footage from law enforcement. Until now. Watching this footage should piss you off, and that's why on our end, we wanted to punish the scammer by destroying his computer. I basically put this in start.
Thank you.
So whenever he restarts, he's gonna see. Yeah, and you can't click out of it. Every single time he starts his freaking computer, he's gonna see that. Yeah. This guy restarts, all his programs, and resets his system. Every time he turns on his computer, he'll be hit with a barrage of pop-ups
Good.
that he can't get rid of, playing this body cam footage. His only option? Throw it out the window.
Throw it out the window.
We'll never hear
Love
from
it.
this guy. We're gonna torment this guy.
First of all, write it down. From Garland, you will withdraw 20. 20 from Garland, and from Rockwell, you will withdraw 10. Okay? Write down the address.
So typically when I run across any of these scams, I will contact the victim directly. Now the problem here is I don't have a phone number, I don't have an address, so I can't call, text, or send anybody to the victim's house. What I do have is I saw on the desktop there's a photo, so we screenshotted that, sent that over to the feds, and then also we had an address of the Frost Bank in Garland where the victim was going to. So the hopes here is we can send somebody there right in time to stop the scam from happening, but really all I can do at this point is just wait. So about 15 minutes later, the victim makes it to the bank, and the scammers are actually coaching her on what to say to the bank employees in order to withdraw the cash.
Wow.
Person will ask
Well,
you
it figures.
in the morning you withdraw the money, and again you're trying to withdraw the money. So what will you tell them? Yeah, I'm buying a caravan. You know, I'm buying a caravan for my husband.
Wow.
Okay? Do not disclose anything. Simply withdraw the money. It's a present for my husband.
So the scammer's telling this lady is coaching her to tell them that she's buying a caravan, which she's not, so that she can take out this $20,000.
That's okay. You know how to work now. All right. All the best.
Because the bank is obviously going to be wary of anybody doing that, because obviously it does sound like a scam. So she's trying to, the scammer's trying to coach her on how to do this, so that it sounds legit.
Unfortunately, we were unable to mobilize the team fast enough, and the victim ended up taking out $20,000 cash from her bank account.
Yeah.
While she was at the bank, the scammer was still on her computer, and he was going through her account, and we could see the $20,000 cash withdrawal. And also, we could see that the victim's name is Lydia. On top of that, the scammer was going through her email, and we could see the exact email that these scammers used to contact Lydia in the first place that led to this whole mess.
No. Stay over there. Stay over there. First,
Well, that's
my
good.
officer will block the
Let's see from
yeah,
that.
stay over there. First, my officer will block that hacker. Then he will pop down to the other line, okay? Yes, stay on the line. You just sit in the car, okay? Just turn on the AC and just Yeah, sit in the car, okay?
We hear the scammer instruct the victim to wait. It's likely that he's getting with another scammer to figure out how to get a money mule to the victim to pick up the cash. While the victim was waiting, law enforcement was able to show up at the exact Frost Bank that she was at. Now what you're about to see is all the body cam footage and how this whole thing played out.
Oh wow, look at all the mobs coming.
A large amount of money today, like
2 ads, 4 minutes in.
within the last hour, maybe.
Yeah.
Did y'all give it to her?
Was it a lady?
Yeah.
Yes.
20,000.
Was it around there? Was there a problem?
Yeah, she's been scammed.
She's being scammed?
Yeah. How long ago did we miss
Probably
her?
within the last 30, 45 minutes.
Lost her for real.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, did you need her information?
That would be great. Because we need to contact her, let her know she's getting scammed and she does not need to pay anybody any money.
Okay.
Right. So this is where I love that they're doing this. This is exactly, you know. This is where law enforcement can help, is essentially, essentially intercepting with the scam baiter that knows this is going on, and, the police can then intercept at the bank exactly like what they're doing here. And this is great. This is awesome. And, they can regularly just kind of do this and check it out. And, it's like, well, when the police show up and you ask you a bunch of questions, who are you talking to, that sort of thing, then they can confirm it. And if truthfully it's legit, then it is. But I guarantee you, if Scammer Payback is on the case, it's not. Obviously, you know what I mean? Obviously they know what they're doing.
I don't know. I just need to double check that I can give it to you.
That's fine.
But if not, I can call her myself and let her know.
That would be great.
The banker tries to reach the victim, but they're unable to.
Hey, Miss Lydia, who's on screen? If
there is family listed as emergency contact or anything, please reach out to her family to notify them so they can speak with her as well.
Since the officers did not see the victim at the bank or make contact, they're going to have to leave empty-handed. But they're about to find out that Lydia hasn't actually gone very far. Hey, Seven.
Yo.
Come here real quick, man. All right, so as you can see, I was on Google putting information in, and it's like scattered everywhere still.
Why are you Googling?
Well, I'm Googling your name because I asked you last time to protect yourself. As you can see, it's still everywhere. Let me show you how to fix this and get your name and information off the internet, okay?
Yeah, let's do that.
So if you're wondering why Seven's information's still out on the internet, it's because of data brokers. Data brokers will take your information and sell it to anybody who wants to buy it. They're literally making billions of dollars selling your data to marketers, scammers, or even stalkers. And while they're legally required to remove your information if you ask them, they make it extremely difficult. And that's why I recommend our security partner, Aura, who's sponsoring the video today. Think about Aura like an all-in-one digital security tool. They'll go out to the dark web with billions of data points and look for your personal information. They'll alert you in real time of any banking or credit activity on your accounts, and they're around the clock working to protect you in case the worst case happens. And if anything does happen, Aura provides an up to $5 million identity theft protection. You can head over to my link over at aura.com/payback for a 2-week free trial. And I bet in those 2 weeks, they will find your information somewhere on the dark web or exposed somewhere, and you can start protecting yourself and your family today. Now let's get back into the video. So as it turns out, the victim didn't leave the entire time. She was listening to the scammers. Remember, they told her to stay in the vehicle and wait. And she was actually at a Wendy's next door to the bank. And because of the information we gave, the officers were able to identify her and approach the vehicle.
On your computer or cell phone. And so the only thing...
By the way, trying to say there's zero concurrence in this stream the whole time is very clear concurrent manipulation, view manipulation tactics, because we all know there ain't nobody in this stream right now.
Everything is clear. Have you already given this?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Now, this is something I want to take a second to dissect a little bit, because this is very important to point out. The scammers have trained the victim, manipulated the victim, however you want to say it, to believe them and only them. So you have the police literally there at the car door, at the window, telling the victim that she's being scammed.
I am parked in Wendy's parking lot.
Who is talking to you?
And she's on the phone telling the scammers a bunch of information. The police are here. This is my location. This is what's going on. And she doesn't know who to trust.
Are you talking to somebody?
Yes, I am. I have the police here from Garland. I'm not disobeying you.
Okay, don't talk. Are you talking to the officer?
They came over to me and said that they had a phone call that someone, that's why I'm letting you listen to me, that someone could be scaring me out of my money.
And this worries police because they're there physically and the lady doesn't even believe them. A lot of people will ask, well, why don't you just text the victim that they're being scammed?
Yeah, and this is the point. I've told you guys this before too, where people don't believe you. They don't believe these things are happening. Even this old lady didn't believe the police. Are you kidding me? You can see right here in this footage, this officer is in uniform. She's in uniform, talking to the lady with her gun, her badge, everything. And that's what Pierogi's saying here essentially is that, you know, this is exactly what he experiences when you know, it's like, yeah, you have to arguably say, does he want to sit there and try to call the victim and stop it? Or does that sometimes exacerbate things and worry them, and maybe now she believes what she originally already believed even more? Which is what goes along with politics and stuff too. Whereas somebody's being scammed, now if somebody else tries to intercept that and convince them, now they are far more likely to believe the original knowledge more, just because they think the second the interception is the scam. It's a defense mechanism. And people that are older and stuff will absolutely fall for that even more. Absolutely. They will absolutely fall for it even more. There's a whole book on this. I forget what it's called. If I think of it, I will tell you. There's a whole book on this. And, you know, it's a whole concept with psychology, where somebody is, again, like 2 to 3 times more likely to believe the original information now that you've intercepted. And this is probably why he tries not to necessarily try to call them all the time. And if people are asking, why don't you just try to call or text? That's probably why. He might even realize that at this point, naturally, organically. Is maybe he realized it before that too. He knew it before that, but certainly organically he would have realized this by now, that this is kind of just how people react.
I have the police here from Garland. I'm not disobeying you.
Okay, don't talk. Are you talking to the officer?
They came over to me and said that they had a phone call that someone, that's why I'm letting you listen to me, that someone could be scaring me out of my money.
And this worries police because they're there physically and the lady doesn't even believe them. A lot of people will ask, well, why don't you just text the victim that they're being scammed? And this is the very reason. You give information to the victim, and they've been lied to by the scammers for hours, if not days, and they go and give this information directly to the scammers, and you lose the connection, you lose audio, you lose visual, and you typically lose the victim. And then they've lost their money.
Because he was getting ready to say you don't talk to me. I'm thinking you legit to tell you not to talk.
I request you, ma'am, please.
The most relaxing game of 2020.
So many ads.
Please drive away. Please drive away.
Exactly. If he was doing what he's legal.
I'm staring.
At this point, the body cammed officer has stepped away from the vehicle, and they're updating the sheriff as to what's happening.
Continuing to give them information while we're talking to her. She's continuing to give information while
Wow.
right there with her trying to explain to
So the police are standing right there, and the lady is continuing to give information like that she shouldn't be giving to the scammer. You know, like that she's even talking to police and stuff like that. This is incredible. Like, this is the point. This is how they're doing it.
And while the other officer is at the vehicle still dealing with the victim, the scammers were able to listen to them actually react live to what's happening. And one of the guys has stepped away, he's talking to another scammer, and you can hear him say, "I'm in a situation," which to me means that they're very worried because the cops are there and they have no idea how this happened.
I'm here. I'm not going to handle the situation.
From police talking with the victim, we were able to get a little bit more information.
And your daughter is probably calling you because we just left the bank looking for you. Ma'am, how old are you? How old are you? Do you have your driver's license? She's 76.
The scammer's name is Richard, but we obviously know that's not his real name. And Lydia is 76 years old.
Right.
Her daughter has been calling her, and that's because probably the bank has been contacting her and telling her what's been happening. The officer was able to convince the victim into accepting her daughter's phone call.
Okay. Could I get, before I start asking you any questions, can I get your phone number just in case we get disconnected?
So now, on the phone, is the victim, the daughter, and the scammer on a three-way call. Now, remember, we're still on the scammer's computer, so we have access to his microphone, and we can hear the scammer's side of this phone call.
Hello?
So I called that number.
Yes, where are you?
I'm here. Okay.
Who are you? I'm his brother. Who are you?
Huh. He's saying he's her brother.
I'm telling you, I'm her brother. Who are you?
One moment. Richard just called back and he said that he was your brother.
The officer is now telling the victim that Richard was pretending to be her brother in order to convince her that he is a liar. And astonishingly, with all this, the victim is still hesitant to say whether Richard's really her brother or not.
Is Richard your brother? No. No. I'm asking her. Is Richard your brother? Well, what I'm saying is if Richard was doing something he was supposed to do, he wouldn't be telling me he's your brother. Okay? Well, because she's still born. Do you have a brother named Richard, ma'am?
Jeez.
What is his name? Okay, but no brother named Richard? No. Okay. Do you still have the money that you withdrew from Cross in your possession? Yes. Okay. Have you given him any money at all? Okay. Okay, that's good. So I need you to just take a deep breath, okay? Can you take a deep breath, please? Just take a deep breath. So it's
Okay, so let me just say something. Let me just tell you something. I used to sit and I used to try to react to their videos and stuff like that here and there because, you know, this is everything I'm talking about and stuff like that, to try to spread awareness to it, because I think a lot of people in this area and still all over this country are fools with this. And I think it still needs awareness, and I think reacting and having other people's reactions to things will absolutely help with that. And I experienced an absolutely absurd, overwhelming trolling and harassment and stalking and problems with my data whenever I reacted to Scammer Payback's stuff. Huge amounts of trolling and just nastiness toward me anytime I reacted to Scammer Payback stuff. And I'll be honest with you, he gets, it's not him, it's not his tight-knit community of good people, he gets trolls. And he gets a lot of people watching that are trolls, that are just everybody. And so, you know, again, it's not trolling when you're actually doing real damage. And I'll be honest with you, all I was ever trying to do was spread awareness and talk about this because I've always talked about this. And this is very serious. And I think it's really messed up that when reacting to this, and I'm allowed to react to this, I have all these problems, yet clearly it's not like they're submitting takedown requests. They never did that. Never once. So it's not them. It's literally the jerk-offs that want me to believe it's them. And this is why I said that I've said various things at times to cause you not to be trolled and for maybe things to even work for you, to trick them at times. Because, yeah, I've had so many problems before proving all of this and getting to this point where, you know, I was able to report this to a certain federal agency and stuff like that. So you get what I'm saying. And yeah, YouTube let all this go on for sure. And now I see why a lot of these guys are, well, a lot of these guys are on Twitch, but some of them still stream to YouTube too. But that's why I think a lot of them are on Twitch, because yeah, Google and YouTube's got some problems.
It's like somehow they were able to get control of your computer, okay? And they were trying to con you out of your money. They were trying to get you to give them a large amount of money, and you don't have to do that. They were going to scam you. You're about to give up your money, and you didn't have to.
Finally, after about a half an hour of talking, the law enforcement officers are able to convince the victim to take the $20,000 cash that she took out and put it back into her bank account.
Wow.
It is. And we will walk with you because we feel like sitting ducks because they know you have that in this card. You don't need the card, but they'll might need your ID.
The victim's husband also shows up, and they go inside and start to get everything sorted out with the bank.
Yes, he's going to get on and yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You have a good day, okay?
However, this is not where the story ends. After going through the rest of the body cam footage, we found out that the victim revealed this.
No. Where's the money you withdrew from there?
They told me they were going to send a police officer undercover to go for it. No, I gave it to this police officer.
Oh, jeez.
No, she said she's done this before.
This is my second time.
This is her second time, so she's given
pulling out
money to somebody.
Oh my god.
How much did you give that first person?
$20,000.
We may have saved $20,000, but unfortunately, the victim had already given away another $20,000.
Oh my
and after
God.
we found this out, we decided to get some payback. We have found the scammer's information. His name is Nirmala, and he's in a remote part of Kolkata, West Bengal, India. So we're going to upload the police body cam footage directly to his computer, load it in front of his face, and he's not going to be able to click out. So it's going to be like a cluster on his computer.
Yeah, because he's going to spam close it.
Yeah,
we know it's going to
so he won't be able to get out of anything. It's going to happen really fast.
Yeah.
I'm also going to be talking through his computer with a live feed of my webcam on his screen while I'm doing all of this, including a screenshot of Google Maps with his exact coordinates. So this guy's in Norbad, Kolkata, West Bengal, of course.
Of course.
And there's I think this is a pond right here.
Behind his house?
Yeah.
I think that is, it's too dark to be true.
I think it's a pond. And you know what scammers need to do with their computers.
Yeah.
Throw it out the windows.
Throw it in the pond. So that's the only way this guy will never hear from us again. We're going to torment this guy. Best part is, he's in the middle of scamming someone right now. So are you ready to like hit everything?
I think so. Yeah, I know.
If he wouldn't mind holding, that really bothered me about.
Just to let you know, there are several concurrents coming in and out of the stream, pushing data points, calling numbers and stuff like that, trying to confirm data. And this is typically what would happen as I would watch Scammer Payback a while back too, is I would get absurd amounts of harassment, stalking, and things like this, where terrorists are doing this. It's a terrorist. If you're so invasive that you know what the data is, and you're on the stream to confirm the data point while watching the stream, you know, let's say you call somebody or you do something because you know that alerts are turned on loud on somebody's phone or something like that. Let's say, you know, you shift bitrate around or you do various things to get people to look at their phone. Oh yeah, suddenly we have our manipulation tactics that started way back where we see that somebody is constantly coming in here and doing various things to learn other things. And this is what I talked about before, where before all I had to do was try to simply react to something that Scammer Payback did, and we would get an overwhelming amount of scammers and people just showing up using their data and their fucking things, their stuff, to track me because I'm watching it and I'm talking about it, and try to harass, stalk, intimidate, and otherwise cause problems for my data, my accounts, and what I'm doing to spread the awareness of this. Did you see the view suppression just now? It went up to 2 and then suddenly back down to 1 after this person was on the stream. This is what we've been talking about.
In Nirmala, you've been scamming people, and you scammed that lady out of Texas, Nirmala. Hi, Nirmala. Have you ever been to Haji Biryani before? You see that lady on the screen? You see it, Nirmala? You scammed her out of $20,000, and you're never going to be able to connect to another person ever again. Yeah, Nirmala out of Kolkata, Nirmala out of Narbad, Kolkata, West Bengal. You should throw your computer in that little pond behind your face. Have you ever been to Haji Biryani? Nirmala. Have you ever been to Haji Biryani before? You see that lady on the screen? You see it, Nirmala? This guy's internet wasn't good enough to transmit the feed of the webcam to us, which is why the body cam footage showed a black screen. But on his real computer, it loaded, and he definitely saw it.
We ran it on him the first time. We were talking to him. He saw it for the first half of the video, but we're gonna make sure he sees the full thing because we love it so much. And I basically put this in the startup folder, so whenever he restarts, he's gonna see.
Yeah, and he can't click out of it. Every single time he starts his freaking computer, he's gonna see that.
Yep. And you already saw half of it, so he knows what it's about, but we're gonna force him to watch the whole thing.
Finally, while we can't get into the details here, Knight has developed a method of getting rid of the connection to Lydia. And on top of that, any other connections that the scammer may have to any potential victims. And we'll be able to make sure that he can never connect to another victim again. I want to give a big shout out to our federal contacts for helping us here, as well as Garland, Texas Police for being so diligent in making sure that Lydia put her money back in her bank account and didn't lose any more money.
That's good.
This has been Prego Scammer Payback, saying don't get scammed.
Well, that was cool. Good to see that they actually were able to work with law enforcement for once. You know, I'll be honest though, again, I get harassed hardcore. And I think it's pretty obvious why. I think it's obvious that, you know, we have the same message. And yeah, I would be changing things. I would be making more people aware of this, and I would be causing an awareness, because I think people in this area specifically, you know, where you have communities that are smaller, more spread out and stuff like that, it's very obviously an area where they're taking advantage of more people. They might even be running, you know, multi-million-dollar organizations out of this area for all we know, or they have people that have lived in the area for long enough that are just funneling money into them for all we know. And for all we know, they've been doing it for a long time. Think about how foolish certain groups of people are. That are certain religious groups of people that don't have certain access to certain things and stuff like that. Okay? Okay, Amish. Alright? Now think about the area, and think about how many people are in the area that, you know, these people don't really have internet and active connections and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, if and it takes them so long to get from A to B, and I just, you have to realize that some Amish embrace technology while others don't, and other people that don't live here might not even understand that. So you have some Amish getting cell phones now, while some don't. Some will understand technology and some won't. Some actually have electricity and some don't. They don't live with electricity in their house, though, otherwise they're not Amish. And so you have to realize that, like, there's just huge amounts of groups of people out this way and in, around this country that, because they're allowed to live free and in their own way and unique way, they can be taken advantage of in that in a unique way. Just like old people can afford to become like that, you know, where they just don't know what's going on. And it's not a rude thing or anything like that. It's just you have to realize that that's probably less commonplace in other countries where it's going on a lot more and people are aware of it. That's all I'm saying, is just, it's, you know, the commonplaceness of it is essentially, you know, being, you know, general awareness, media, people talking about it, and then not suppressing it too. But anyway, I think you guys are on the same page, starting to see, kind of, and a lot of you have already seen it. But I think some of the people, the new subscribers, maybe you're getting caught up. You're starting to see what I'm talking about, what's been going on. And yeah, like, that's the point. I can't. Who else is going to notice it? Who else is going to say it? Who else is going to? You know, it's not happening. So I have to, by default. There's nobody else to do it. Crazy. Anyway, thanks for the support.